Shalom, my name is Anita Byers Smith, and I'm coming to you today and welcome you on my presentation on interpersonal communication. And I'm calling this Connecting with Others. So, I have over 35 years of human services experiences in case management, also in working in group home settings. And currently, I am both working in a remote setting along with in a group home setting. I support individuals facing mental health challenges and emotional challenges on all levels. So, communication is the center to this type of work. So, today I want to share my journey towards becoming a more effective communicator, drawing from my Liberty University class, Interpersonal Communications, and along with my personal and professional experiences. Human service work depends on interpersonal communication so much. It builds trust, connection. Schwartz and Baginski 2015 calls it as honesty, ethical, and empathic sharing of meaning. They also shared that interpersonal communication is more than just talking. It is the interpersonal exchange for verbal and nonverbal messages that can either enhance a relationship or it can hinder a relationship and damage it. Schwartz and Bazinski 2015. In this presentation, I want to discuss a little bit about my behavior blend from my uniquely you profile. This profile described me as being supportive and stability as person and a influencer I person. And with that, I am loyal, patient, warm, expressive. And that is pretty much the two combined together. With the S personality, I bring high strongness and just being stable and being that steadfast person in relationships. In my I bring creativity, which allows for me to de-escalate challenging situations and circumstances, and more a friendly people person. So we'll talk a little bit more about those traits later. But I also tend to overtalk and jump into quick to help people, which can block deeper connections, which I don't want to do. Carbonelli notes that my S and I type deeply values harmony, and relationships, which is very true about me and also being in this type of field in the human service world. But I realized that when I perceive someone as not doing their best or unsure about their capabilities, I sometimes get frustrated and be a little dismissive. So that's something I have to learn to work on and unlearn doing. So let's talk a little bit about my communication barriers and habits. When I am talking and communicating with some people, sometimes I interrupt. I rush to share my personal experiences and values and views. I want to jump in what Peterson says is to fix it. And I can also become distracted at times with being a remote employee. It can also seem like I'm multitasking, which a lot of us are doing today, and not focusing in on the person so they can feel heard. Because that's what I really want the people that I'm connecting with to know that my intentions is to be focused on them. So I came up with some goals that I want to reflect on, and that is empathic and reflective communicator. Again, being an empathic and a reflective communicator. Weikel 2019 explains that 3 components that a person needs to possess in order to be efficient at communication. And they are being empathy, warmth, and generosity. From the heart of healing, This is the therapeutic cure to connection. This is how we have to connect with the people that we serve in, being showing empathy, warmth, and generosity. These qualities matter in every level of a relationship. So I had to focus on how I was going to accomplish these things and what I needed to do. So I developed some strategies around active listening, doing reflective hearing, responding back to what the person said in my own words so they can have the opportunity to correct anything I may have missed or add to it. Use healthy self-disclosure, sharing just a little bit about me to share that this is an open space that we all can be comfortable in. Using the pause, the ministry of be quiet, not talk when someone else is talking, and just managing emotions with Peterson calls the flat blame theory. Now, I also wanted to become a better listener, so what I decided to do is to focus on Peterson's book, where it's the talker and listening card. This model takes turns between the talker and listening, so each person has a full opportunity to share and also to listen. This will help me to slow down, stay emotionally present, especially when I am tempted to jump in and try to fix it. Research backed up all this information, and I found several other articles that helped me to define some of these things. Ivan 23 says that digital communication has become a distraction to us all. But being present and emotionally aware is now more important than ever before. And then Zihad et al. 2021 backed that up with his research and said, good feedback requires listening and not multitasking. And as we know, we all do that today. Everyone's so busy, they don't have time. So in my life, my S&I traits really show up in my personal and my professional life. However, in my professional life, I'm that calmness in the storm. I create that space, that patience, and that warmth that they need. But sometimes I've learned that in my personal life is not so much that. I can overextend myself and I can rush the situation and I'm thinking while the other person is talking. So I have to now learn to just stop, pause, and ask myself, am I listening to understand this person or I'm listening to just respond? And that's not what I want to do. I want to be listening. Asking myself this will help keep me grounded. Now, how I can keep myself on this accountability growth that I'm going on. I can journal weekly. I can have accountability partners such as my husband, my supervisor, or therapist. Another way is just reflecting and just praying about it before I go into a challenging situations or when I'm working with other people that needs prayer, pray for them. These small habits will help me grow consistently and intentionally. My faith is to everything. I am a Messianic Hebrew, and I practice that faith strongly, and I try to honor Yahweh in every possible way I can in my life. The NIV 2011, Proverbs 27:19 reminds me that as water reflects the face, one's life reflects the heart. That's profound. Our heart shows up when we show up. And it should always represent Yahweh, goodness, and love. NIV Galatians 6:2 reminds me that carrying someone's burdens, that communicates at its core, bearing witness to someone's truth with love. Isn't that amazing? That's what Yeshua HaMashiach did. He was that compassionate person who would stop and listen to not just the Israelites, but the Gentiles. Anyone who needed it, he was compassionate to say, who touched me? And how can I heal you? And you have been healed by your faith. Amen. So my uniquely you profile disc personality has brought strengths and also my blind spots and my communication barriers. So I'm going to wrap this up soon. So I face those barriers like over talking and being distracted by my busy lifestyle and multitasking. I seem to over talk sometimes, and I'm thinking while the other person is listening. And along with that, if I want to make real progress, I have to be intentionally in presence when people are talking to me. So, in conclusions, this journey has shaped me into being a better communicator, a better servant for Yah, and just being a better person. Growth takes time, but with faith, practice, and purpose, I'll become the person I'm called to be. So, thank you for sharing this journey with me, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.